Okay, folks, welcome back. And hopefully, we'll be able to finish what we started yesterday. So, what that is actually putting the names on the four Brits and the Tufts on the pack crew. And we can go ahead and bank these troops then. And once we get that done, we're going to talk about a little bit about what I got today, what I picked up today. Nothing terribly exciting, but I did go on a bit of a shopping spree and didn't spend a whole lot of money, but okay. So, let's get the names on the Brits. Let's get the names on the Brits. All right. First things first, we're going to need to get some of this, the Elmers, the extra strong Elmers. I don't know what the extra strong Elmers is going to be able to glue that the regular Elmers doesn't glue. Maybe really thick paper. Really excruciatingly thick paper. All right. Let's cut these names out. And we're going to need tweezers for sure. And we want to make sure that there's nothing on the ends so that we get a good grip of these. All right, we've got. I don't know that I can do it with this. Let's get some height advantage over this. There we go. Let's mess up our back. All right, we've got. Phillips and Duncan and Campbell. Well, that's how it's spelled. And Sharpay. No hanging chads. All right. All right, we're going to do sharp first. Let's make sure that they fit because I did not replace these pieces of wood. Yes, it fits. And this lettering is just a tiny little bit bigger than the old one. And what did we use? I think we used the back of this to push it down. Okay. There is Sharp. Okay, Phillips is the corporal. I know that one fits because his actually fell off, so we replaced it with one that was a little bit bigger. Having the name of the soldier on there helps tremendously. When we were doing our mock battle there, definitely took no time to figure out who was who. Okay, this is Corporal Phillips. This is Duncan. No problem there. And Campbell. These guys were already named this beforehand. They just had the old lettering system. So now we got Brits. And yes, you can have a battle with just 4 guys. Three of them with bolt action rifles, and 1 of them with a Sten gun. They need a little universal carrier to ride around in. I've got 1 of them. Just got to find all the parts. The move kind of dislocated some things. These 2 cannons are packs are going to have to be sealed. That has not happened yet. Not a biggie at this point. And we need some toughs for our anti-tank gun crew. No, we don't need this anymore. What do we have here? We have a couple different... Well, let's see what holdovers we have, because we probably have some holdovers as well. We want to use that stuff up since it's up here. Which readers are these? The super readers? Okay. We got some there. Maybe that's all I had. I thought there was more. I could have been mistaken. Okay. Colors we were using around here. Yep, there's 2 sets there. There's some on top, some on the bottom. Those as well. And the lead bears. I can't pre-stick those because the lead bears stick really, really well. And this one's empty. Okay. And swamp tuft. We're going to leave those super bushy ones there. Use those on the vehicles. All right, so we're going to pull these 4 out, these 3 out. We're going to put some of the swamp tufts out here. Army Painter stuff is pretty readily available. And then some of these have bushes, so these bushy ones. Let me grab 3 of those. And then these that look arid-like a little bit. We'll grab a couple of them. I actually don't like this color very much. I don't know which one it is, but it's a little too brown. It just gets lost in the dirt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the color. It just gets lost in the colors. It's a little too dissimilar. Are you going to do more Brits eventually? No, that's all the Brits I can handle. Look, I even have more names. I got look, I got a Smith here, and I got a different spelling too. I got a Waddington as well. Yes, I'm gonna do more Brits. I'm gonna drive you guys crazy with my silly, over-the-top accents for you people. Brits and Germans is just classic. It's just classic. Okay. Oh yeah, and I got lots. You saw all the Brits that I pulled. Oh, here's the extras. I just dumped them in here. Well, that's where we're going to throw these extras that we have from here. You saw all the Brits that I pulled out. Man, I got a lot of them. I got a lot of really cool ones too, you know? I got to find out what the deal is on the Bren gun though. Because I really don't like that stainless Bren tip. It looks wrong, you know? It just looks wrong. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm probably going to do the anti-tank gun thing and the vehicles before I do the mortars. So we're going to put one pack out there with these Nazi bastards, and there's going to be a column of British tanks, and I'm probably going to do a lot of British tanks so that we can make sure that the British win. And there's so many Brits left over that one of them's just going to have enough and going to try to overrun this. Because that way you can see what overrun happens. You know, and by overrun, I mean like freaking squishy. So that's how we're going to learn. I got a nice message on one of the videos that I did by the author of The Face of Battle. That was nice. I guess his son tattled on me that I was doing videos for him, and you know, you can read it on there. He's nice comment. I appreciate him chiming in. So, but apparently he doesn't play it anymore either. He was working on another version of them, and well, that's kind of liberating that he doesn't play the set of rules anymore, because I am going to change what I don't think is 100% to my liking. And it's nothing personal to him, you know. But he said he was working on a new set of rules that kind of cleaned some stuff up. And it went to a D10 system instead of 100 percentile. I'm like, well, I'm out. Because I'm a percentile guy all the way. Yeah, we're gonna play his rules as you know, all the stuff that we've done so far. I don't feel I need to change any of it. Yeah, I'm good with it. So, all right, the Britishers. All right, this is Campbell, and he's mostly brown. So I'm probably not going to use these brown tufts on the Brits because it's just too similar to them in the ground. So let's put a more vivid one here. Like one of, he's got a pretty big space. We could put this here. But yes, I'm going to do Brits. Definitely going to do them for the I mean, this terrain setup, I don't know if you saw any stuff. That's like, that's my first attempt. That looks pretty good for the first attempt. Just wait till I go to the desert. Just wait. I'm gonna do that fucking airfield. I'm gonna do City Rosé. You know, a portion of it. You know, jock columns, and I know how to make freaking smoldering shit. So we're in this for the long haul. Stay healthy so you can see it all. No, I should have done this. I said I should have done this years ago, but put this happy grass here. You know, the only reason I did Americans first is because I wanted to build a scenario that had the Americans in it. It just happened to have Americans in it. Because I've told you, I'm not really American centric. Now, I do have some things coming from a 3D printer, and there's some more American stuff in there. But I got one thing. I can't wait. I can't wait to build it. And it is the tiniest, chintziest little thing. But it's going to be so good for the kind of stuff that I'm doing. That's what I'm, you know, small little bite-sized things that a lot of this stuff will end up being second nature. You know, I've only played the game twice. So, it's going to become second nature. Ah, this is another guy with Scrim. Who's this guy? Duncan. Duncan Scrim. I like it. I like the way Scrim looks. Scream for Scrim. Stay in place. Too similar. No, said I wasn't going to use that color. We'll use this one. I mean, unless you don't want me to do British. Is it okay to do British? What won't I do with the British? Well, you know I'm not going to put white stars on them. That's just stupid. They should have given you guys roundels. They did in Italy, and sometime in the late in the desert they did that as well. Oh, you rat bastard! You're not sticking down. Oh, come on! Why are you being so difficult? This one in particular. Just not grabbing onto the ground like it normally does. Is there anybody you'd never do? I don't think there's anything I'd never do. I probably wouldn't do Italians in Russia. Poor bastards. That's just like that is no. I wouldn't do, you know, I'm not going to do Italians in Russia. I'm not going to do Spanish Blue Division. Finns don't have enough combined arm stuff. I mean, yeah, there's badasses as the Finns, but You know, if the Russians wouldn't have showed up with tanks, they wouldn't have any tanks. Another guy with scrim. Phillips. We're going to do one of these here. No, there's no one you wouldn't do. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. Some things just don't interest me. Like, I really don't want to do like beach stuff with the Marines. But man, I saw some people that make some 3D printed Japanese bunkers. They look badass. I mean, but you got to keep it really small because the Marines they show up with everything. The whole freaking Navy, they already outnumber the Japanese, and they have complete air superiority and complete naval superiority. It just brutal. Absolutely brutal. So one thing I don't know much about is the Philippines. I don't know much about. I'm talking about the Philippines in '44 because the Japanese had some tanks over there, so that's a possibility. But I'm not really sure what Pacific. It's Army infantry. I don't know what the. I would imagine that they look slightly different than the ETO stuff. The one thing that does work really well for the Marines is the way I plan on running it, solitaire. Like it makes sense for me to play the Japanese. That part actually works really well. And if there's anything I found out from the last two battles, man, the attacker has a really uphill fight. If the other guys get in position. Okay, that's Phillips and Sharpay. Yeah. I won't do late war French. I won't do Poles. I won't do Polish infantry. I mean, it's British infantry. So it's the same kit. When we do Poles, it's going to be 1939 Poles. When we do French, it's going to be 1940 French. Let's do one that has a little bit of this. But yes, I'm going to do more Brits. But I think now that we're actually playing, I think I'm going to use the stuff that I build. So in other words, I'm building these. These guys will be built. We're going to use them in a battle. Oh, there's 4 Brits. We'll work them in something. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. All right, here's the 4 Britishers. All right, the Kraut bastards. Where am I going to put a tuft on this guy? He's sprawled all over this stand. Well, I could put one there and a small one here. I think that's what we'll do. So the smallest one I have right now is this one. You have some Italian cavalry for a scenario on the Russian front by Waterloo 1815. They are that horrible springy plastic. Hey, Marcus. Welcome back. Waterloo has... when you look at Plastic Soldier Company, it's impossible to tell. You'd look at somebody who makes it, and your initial reaction is like, oh, it's Waterloo 1815. Oh, these are listed in the wrong place. These should be in the Napoleonic section. And it didn't dawn on me like that was the name of a manufacturer. I'm like, oh, well, in that case, so Waterloo is springy, huh? Italian cavalry on the Russian front? Oh my God. That's, they're hosed. They're hosed no matter what. How are the figures? How do those figures look? They look this horrible springy plastic, like the Atlantic. I had some Atlantic figures that are like Rubber Man. Wee. Well, that got lost back there. Let's put another one. Well, I ordered some 3D printed stuff yesterday. And I am so excited to paint one of them. So excited. And it's a worthless little thing. Was watching a Bill Molyneux video about Soviet reenactors. Interesting that grenades were produced commercial canning production lines. Interesting. Oh boy. Sticky in here. All right, maybe we shouldn't put that one there. Let's see if we can compress it a little bit. Yeah, the ones that have really good information for reenactors are the French partisan guys. Man, there's some great partisan stuff. Great stuff there. Okay, I can't put something in front of his name because otherwise his name gets lost. I think that's all we're going to do with him. With this one, we need to put something between his legs to cover the transition between one thing to the next. You have some other plastic spring and oily. Ooh, oily's bad. Oily's bad. You can't fix oily. Jeffrey, so far the Waterloo 15 I've purchased are fairly sturdy. Maybe they over time they get damaged or they fall apart. I'm sure there's something to that. There's a set that somebody makes of like, I want to say it's Italeri. I had to watch myself. I almost called it Italieri. I called it Italieri wrong for so many years that, yeah, I got to be on the lookout for that. But Italeri makes these motorcycles with sidecars, but they're specifically Africa Core guys. I'm like, man, that would be like that looks like it'd be fun. Let's put that one there. There's some differences in kits even with the same brand like Pegasus. Oh, so some are, depending on what mold you use, some are weird. Well, some of the most brittle stuff I've ever seen is Pegasus. Just brittle, brittle, brittle. Completely brittle. And same thing with Zvezda. Some of the Zvezda figures are like hard as nails. Or brittle as nails. Except they break. Alright. Now, let's get, this should be easy to find. It should be right up here up top. Because I'm giving up trying to hold them up to this camera here. It's not any good. There's not enough light or. And then we're going to play some show and tell. Waffen SS or bendy plastic, Soviets or brittle plastic. All very good figures. Staying away from the king. Yeah, those are. You don't deserve them, man. That's like you buy those for somebody you hate. I've just never seen something that bad. They painted up okay, you know. And the only reason I got them is because I used my credit from Noble Knight on there. All right, let's get our pack out here. The gunner goes about here. Of course, they're all going to be treated like they're behind the gun shield. You're just going to have to pretend a little bit. But that was pretty cool to hear from the author of the rules. But even he admitted there was stuff that he wasn't 100% happy with. That's typical. I know the feeling. Why is this? Oh, there we go. That's why. There we go. All right. See if we can get him on this side. This guy's ready to take that thing in the face. And then the commander's over here. Now, where's my phone? My phone, also known as my camera. I'm going to show you guys. They look pretty good. I'm really happy with the way the Zeltbahn came out. I could have done a better job, but not on short notice. And let's go ahead and do. Oh shit! Set the video. Damn it. No, back photo. And we'll do that. And the only adjustment is we're going to crop this a little bit. And we're going to put it on auto, which more represents what I'm actually seeing. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. And there's the Pack 40. So Looks good, pretty good to me. I'll have to remember to seal the gun. But these three bastards, I assume it's a crew of three. If I need a fourth guy, I'll grab Lights or somebody like that that's already like crouched. Let's do these Brits because I really like the Brits. Now I changed the color of their uniform a little bit way back when, in about 1995, just to give them something, just to give them some interest. So I probably will do something similar if I do more Brits. It won't be as drastic as those. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of kickback. There's me Britishers. These guys need a universal carrier. Little recon troop like, what? Run away! Get one here with their names on. Go this one, and all we're gonna do is auto. That's it. We don't touch anything else. Let the rest of it do its thing. Here we go. Yeah, I like how those look. All right, they can join everybody else. I don't have anything on here, right? Where's the pack crew? Over there? Okay. All right. So I went to the store. I do some returns. And I picked up a whole lot of stuff. Didn't spend a lot of money, but I picked up a whole lot of stuff. First thing I got is these tongue depressors. Of course, I asked the person there, hey, where do you keep the tongue depressors? They didn't know what the hell these were. That's what we're dealing with these days. Just people that just don't know what the hell what anything is. So these, what we're going to use them as the stands for the wire. Okay, we're going to make some wire stands. And I don't have to pre-cut the wood. Just should. I don't know what length the wire comes in, but we're gonna seal this with the sanding sealer, and and then build some kind of X's or something like that across, and then we'll do the wire through it. We'll do the X's, we'll do the goop, we'll paint it, then we'll do the wire. Should look grand, I didn't want to go any thinner than this. I think this is the right thickness for it. Because we do have a bunch of wire to do that, so that's coming up. And then what else did I get? More brushes. Actually, these look pretty decent. Brown Taklon. There's some smaller ones in there, so never can have enough of those. We're going to be doing figures and stuff. We're going to have detail. And then we have, what else? What did we get? Oh, exciting news. Exciting news. So, Vallejo. All right, let me get rid of these super readers. I'm like, I can't see anything. Vallejo's old olive drab for the U.S. Was called Brown Violet, if you remember. Okay, let me find it. And it is completely out of print. Vallejo superseded a lot of their paints and say, hey, we don't do this one now. Now this is the new one. And it's kind of annoying because if you want more, here it is. Brown Violet. And it's an ugly ass color. Um, One change I would make is to allow NCO Junior to chit loud on the prompt more than one figure within 3 inches. Well, they can if they're a better commander. It can become really, really popular. I'm planning on playing it as is, and making changes as needed. But that way you can move 2 or 3 figures in a position using their chit activation and have them be prompted to fire at one target to have more effect. Well, only if it's the guys on the attack, because the guys on the defense would shoot everybody up. So this is the old brown violet that I'm damn near out of. Now they said this was replaced by a color that's called U.S. Olive Drab. So these are the two colors that I use. This 887. So I go to the store, and they have. Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. Here's a U.S. Olive Drab as well. It's a very similar color. I picked up another one of these U.S. Olive Drabs, but they look like this one. It looked like brown violet. Oh well, I may have to return this. I was excited because I'm like, no, I found the replacement for the brown violet, but it's not. Because this is 887 and this is also 887. So this U.S. Olive Drab replaced the brown violet. And they're close, but I use them both. But yeah, this is, I think this is actually a Vietnam color. A darker one. I don't know. Whatever. We'll do some of them. You can say, wow, I never would have expected brown violet to be like olive drab. Yeah, that's one of the colors as it was superseded. So we've got some stuff we're going to get a chance to try this on that's coming 3D printed. So, hint. I got one thing that's super chintzy. But it's specifically for a scenario. It's like perfect for a scenario. So I may actually return this one. That's why you keep your receipts. I didn't think I had that one. I thought it was a new one. Well, I didn't have my codes with me, and I was kind of in a hurry. Oh well. Then I know how I've talked about how the folk art paint is so much better than the apple barrel paint. No more brown violet, gonna need a new British helmet color. Yeah. The ones I painted was a brown. I didn't know any better. It was the mid-90s. We didn't have all those painting guides. I'm not going to repaint the 4 guys I have. I'm just, we're not going to do other ones different. They look good enough. So, how the folk art was so much better than the apple barrel. So, I actually want to get replacement colors of this apple barrel. And, because I'm running low on some of them, doing all the terrain. And they don't make them anymore. They don't make any of these colors anymore. They're called something completely different. I'm like, how the hell am I going to figure this out? Am I going to have to take these paints down there and try to match them up or something like that? And I'm like, so I go to this place where they're $1.19 each for the folk art paints. And I pick up a fuck ton of them. I mean, like a lot. I'm not going to store them right now because I need to take an inventory of what order I've been doing the ground color in, like for the roads and stuff. But I'm probably going to switch to folk art. And I should be able to find colors that are similar to these. So, I got another black. Can't have enough black. And barnwood. I got a lot. I got a lot. I'm like, it makes more sense to just get this. We got barnwood, yellow ochre. That's for building stuff. Iced coffee. And I don't need this many colors, but it just makes it easier. Like you're gonna mix, just take one of these and mix it too. This is for like a building. Basil green. Honeycomb. More interior colors. French blue. Oh, for a French building. Succulent. Starlight gold. It's not metallic. dark brown, skyline, another white, can't have enough of that. Figure I might as well get it, I just throw another $1 at it. Raw sienna, all folk art. Rusted pipe, I don't know what kind of a pipe would be this color. Wild truffle. Burnt sienna, as opposed to the raw one. Mushroom. Wild wasabi. Hungry already. Classic French gray. I had to get that. Earthy ochre. Cloudy day. Teddy bear tan. Told you I got a lot. Nutmeg. Camel. Coffee latte as opposed to iced coffee. Silver marlin. Country twill. Fern leaf. That's going to be for something on a building. And coffee bean. So I'm probably going to need to keep a little notepad on what colors to use. Not that I can't recreate them. I'm pretty good at doing that. But like for instance, this country tan, this isn't available anymore. It's pretty close to this. It's pretty close to country twill. Oh, I see what they did. But this is an apple barrel, and apple barrel doesn't have this color anymore. So if I have to replace it, I might as well get a folk art one. They're both made, I think, by the same people. They're both made by Plaid. But this is so much better painting. So much better. Country tan is one of those. If I need a replacement for fawn, fawn is like I may have to go to a new mix of stuff, but this is literally like I went through and I got every one of them, so there's like nothing in between. Not that I can't mix them, but that's just a waste of time. So, didn't get any reds. These are safe to put. Stuff like I need to go somewhere else and put other colors in. Like I'm gonna probably take this Americana. Some of these are my daughters from like painting with kids. Americana multi-surface satin. That's going to the garbage can. Satin. What the hell are we gonna do with that? Forest green. Some of these colors aren't as useful as others. We got space for 3 more useful greens there. Oh, we got a green hanging out over here. Yellows. Here's a yellowish color. I'm going to move this guy down here. Yellowish color. Yellowish color. Yellowish color. Blues. What the hell is this? Purple? Get the hell out of here. Purple can go down here. So I may actually have to take some of these out and put these because I'm using them, I'm especially if we're doing terrain. Be painting more backgrounds too. I was not happy with the last one I painted. I wasn't at all. And that's the worst thing I could do is me not be happy. But shit happens. I have a blue notebook. I write down the colors. Why's the notebook got to be blue? So I can repeat if I need more figures. Not foolproof as some of the paint names have changed or are no longer available. The biggest problem for me is the basing colors. I don't want to screw up the basing colors. I can go in and I can look at these Brits and I know what colors I used on the Brits. You know, because well, they're Games Workshop paints. They're all Games Workshop paints because at that, you know, the old school ones, the old ones that were made like this. So, I'm actually going to have to redress this and probably, you know, like, you know, can we fit all these? And some of these colors I don't really use. Can they all fit in here? Are we that close? No. You know, but if I get rid of this, I don't know if this will work there because they're the wrong shape, but they're going to be top heavy. That's not going to work. Yeah, so we're going to have to put them, we may have to rethink how we're going to do this, but anyhow, yeah, we got some more colors. So we've got buildings and stuff to do. The buildings turned out really, really well. So anyhow, to be continued. To be continued. Yeah, but that's supposedly the you know what? While I'm thinking about it, and we've got some American stuff coming, let's go ahead and do this little test. Let's go ahead and do this little test because I even have some cardboard that happens to be, wait for it, white. So we're going to take U.S. Olive Drab, Brown Violet, U.S. Olive Drab, another U.S. Olive Drab that's a replacement for the Brown Violet. Right? This is 887. This is 887. This is 889. You know what? I'm keeping this new one. Fuck it. We'll back and return that. Pain in the ass. So we're going to do a test, and we're going to put them right here so we'll let them dry and see what this looks like. And I use these two together. I don't, you know, half of my American vehicles are one, and half of them are the other. And, you know, they're going to get a wash, so they're going to be, you know, slightly different. They're going to vary a little bit. All right. First up, Brown Violet. This is the original one. Actually, we're going to do Brown Violet next to the U.S. Olive Drab. We're going to do ooh, I like writing on this. If I enjoy writing on something, I tend to have better handwriting. It also depends on what pen you're using. Only reason I'm not going to place it directly on there is we want to make sure that it's mixed up well. So yeah, we got some American stuff coming. What else is coming? Actually, I think it's all American. And hopefully this stuff, it's just kind of as a tester. Hopefully this stuff looks better in person than it does in the pictures of it. And it's hard to tell because I think it varies a lot of what scale they paint things in. So, you know, if you show a 15 millimeter vehicle, it's going to look different than a 28 millimeter vehicle. All right. Now the brown violet. So this is I don't know if that's a correct abbreviation for discontinued, but that's what I'm going to go with. This stuff is precious because there's not much of it left. You could probably take this one, add some brown to it, and get this one. But it's just handy to have a color that, you know, out of the bottle, that can be your starting point. They're pretty close. They look a lot more, they look really different in the bottle. They're pretty close. And then this one is olive brown. I don't know what color the British helmets are supposed to be, but this is definitely more brown than olive. You know, I've seen like M48s painted this color for Vietnam. Well, that's the three colors. I still like brown violet the best. Of course, it's out of print. It's out of print. You know what I mean. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, because I'm not going to be on here super late today, but we should have time to do this. I'm going to look at the rules for wire and make sure that I'm not going to make these sections too big or something like that if I just pick these popsicle sticks. I got to use a little boys' room. I'll be right back, and then we'll take a look at the wire. And if not, and then we'll go ahead and we'll paint some of those up so they'll be ready to rock tomorrow or the next day. Right. By the way, this is the. Yeah, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys since we're talking about that. The two olives. The olive brown is. Let's see if we can grab two of the same vehicle. That's probably helpful. Okay. This is the brown violet. These are both Corgi Shermans. And they're both done the same way, meaning they've got the Agrax Earthshade wash, and then they've been lightened up. So here's the difference. This is the brown violet that's out of print, and then this is the U.S. olive drab. They're both Vallejo 887. And you can tell that I like the way this looks better. You know, I like the way that looks better. Yeah, that's the little Corgi Sherman that skills out to be 176. Got another one coming here. Be the third one. But, you know, the tanks vary in appearance. You know, the Brits, I painted them the same way as each other, and they turned out a little different. This one has a little bit more of a blue tint to it than this one does. Or even more than the Matchbox one. The Matchbox one's the brownest one. Maybe not. Shit, now they look the same. Yeah, this was Russian. I did Russian uniform as a base. Did the wash and then highlighted it with. I'm sorry, I did not do that. I did overall. It was the bronze green. I followed Flames of War's suggestion. They got some good ideas, and I did bronze green overall. It's a little bit bluish, and then I did the wash and then highlighted in Russian uniform. That's what it was, and then mixed the sand and stuff with the Russian uniform. Bring them. I love the way they look. You know, it's actually once again the British green is the best looking one of all of them. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a column of 6 tanks. We're going to make sure some Shermans, we got to make sure some Brit tanks survive to pay that Pack 40 for being a dick. And I've got 4 M4A4s and 2. I've got 4 Sherman 5s, and I've got 2 Firefly 5s. So. That's what the column's going to be. 6 tanks. We'll see how that goes. Let me use little boy's room. I'll be right back. All right, now let me grab my rules. And move this stuff out of the way so we do not crush it. And a couple places that we're going to look, we're going to pull the scenario book on Kursk. There's a Kursk scenario book that I know I've talked about this scenario several times where there's 2 T-34s with riders coming across the board. It's only a 3x4 board or a 3x5 or something like that. It's 3x4. Yeah, it's called Steel Tide. It's got 2 T-34s in it and tank riders. So 8 guys on each T-34, all with Pepe Shahs. And the German base force is an infantry squad and a platoon headquarters. Anti-tank ditch barbed wire. Let's read about the barbed wire. The barbed wire is densely laid. Trucks may not cross. T-34 should take a bog check to cross. All German, the 50 millimeter anti-tank gun starts in a prepared position. That's one of the variable things it can have. Is the Germans aren't guaranteed to have an anti-tank gun. There's only a 8 in 20 chance of getting one. Oh, it says Soviet tank riders may enter the board on tanks or on foot. Oh, I didn't know that. And the other thing we're going to need is build an anti-tank ditch. Anti-tank ditch is wide. T-34 should take 2 bog checks to cross. Well, this is 3 feet of that. So we need 3 feet of barbed wire and 3 feet of anti-tank ditch. Okay. Densely laid, huh? Wonder if that means I should have 6 feet of it and have a double depth. You know, just for looks wise. All right. So let's see how this game handles wire. So I'm just going to go to the index. Grenades, mortars, artillery, explosions, firearm, combat, terrain, wires, C14. Wire can only be placed as part of the setup conditions. Wire offers poor cover type. Wire is soft terrain. Okay? An infantry may attempt to move through wire placement. A figure must be prone. For each half inch of movement through wire, the soldier must make a skill check. Failing the skill check indicates the soldier is stuck. A stuck soldier must make a successful skill check to free himself. On the action a soldier performs a skill check, they may not move. Vehicles may move through a wire emplacement. Each half inch of movement will require a mire check. Trucks and other wheeled vehicles must also roll for breakdown. Vehicle equipped with a wire clearing attachment may cut a 1-inch wide path through the wire. Vehicle must move half-inch per vehicle movement segment. No mire check is made. Wire may be cleared by a demolition charge or a Bangalore. See section on demolition charges. A soldier may attempt to clear wire. For each half-inch deep by 1-inch wide area of wire the soldier may attempt to clear takes 2 actions. The soldiers must make a successful skill check. I would imagine it probably has to do them both. I don't know. Engineers receive a -20 skill check modifier and may clear wire in 1 action. Any wire in an explosion's primary diameter may be cleared on a KIA result. Use column A on the ERT. The wire will be cleared the entire width of the primary diameter. Doesn't say anything that it has to be a minimum length. Okay? So that's good. That's what we were wanting to hear. So they had basically they had popsicle sticks and tongue depressors. The popsicle sticks are popsicle stick width. I think it would have been really annoying because the wire is going to stick out farther than the edges and it'd be all cluttery and stuff. So that's what we're going to use. I have no idea how long these are. So let's measure them. About 8 inches. Okay, so if I need to go 3 feet across, That's 36 divided by 8. We need 4 and change. So I need 5 of them. If I want them double deep, that's 20. That's 10 of these. So let me pull out 10 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to seal those. Well, I didn't buy 2 packs of them. So now we can go 3 feet across. You know, I could cut them even so that they're not rounded. I'm okay with them being rounded. I'm all right with that. Let's grab this. The express purpose for this is to protect our area so it's not all yucky. Let's move this cruise up here. Oh, that's Hoffman. We'll have to paint him soon. I haven't forgotten about you. Okay. We should still have one of these. We do. And sanding sealer. I thought I wasn't going to use this stuff ever again. After I sealed the paint rack, and I've used this quite a bit. Only gripe I have about this, it doesn't seal with a shit, like, you know, the container. All right. And we will end the evening after we're done with this. And tomorrow, we're gonna try to find some pictures what wire entanglements look like, because there's a million different versions of different stuff. There's stuff on Flames of War. There's stuff in actual pictures. We just have to decide what route we're gonna go into. Do the edges. Really, this is just so it doesn't work. One. So we're basically building 6 feet of wire because we're going the 3-foot section twice. And the wire comes in 4 meters. That's about 14 feet. Something like that. So I think I've got enough wire. I don't think I need to buy a second package of it to do this, but we'll see. Oh, I'm offline? How did I get offline? And if I'm offline, how are you able to text me through here? Well, I won't bother reconnecting if that's the case because I'll be done in a second. Internet acts up again. Well, at least I went offline today instead of the day that we were doing the game. Like I said, I don't do anything different. That's just the internet being a little baby. Hasty entanglements with no supporting stakes, poles, or prepared entanglements. Yeah, there's going to be some poles, but it's not going to be like super poles. I've seen people do X's. I didn't think it was going to be that complicated. Just something in the middle, just to have something to the wire to attach to. I buffered and reconnected. Well, that's a miracle. But I've seen it just drop me. So this is, next time we paint, this is what we're going to be working on. We're going to put the posts. And I'm going to use a regular shaped post more than likely. It's just a matter of, we'll put posts. We're going to try doing with hot glue gun. I may not like how that works and go back to my old trusty epoxy. And then we'll goop them. Well, yeah, goop them. Then paint them. I mean, there's no point in cutting these out of 2mm MDF. Might as well use this. I gotta make some flames. I gotta make some flames in a couple different lengths. So when a flamethrower goes off, I got a flame there. Like most flamethrowers go out to like 30 inches. So I can have like a, different thing, so it can go all the way to the figure. In the base of it can be something like this, and it just make cotton or something. I'm sure I could figure it out. It's gonna look cool, man. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a cool looking game. And I don't really want to start changing a whole lot of rules right now because I haven't played it completely, but definitely there's some opportunity for that. The author was telling me that he kind of switched the way he was doing things because, like, the rules when I was coming up with them, when I was making my own rules, there was a to hit, and once you hit, that means you hit in an area around the space of the body. And if the body is behind an opening, then you have to penetrate the opening with whatever. And it sounds really anal retentive, but I'm telling you, that's like where the 50 caliber comes in handy because it can penetrate into a wooden building. Like, it doesn't care that you're sitting in the window and you're using the wooden building as cover. It's going to go in through that, and you're still going to get hit. So, like, if you're at a certain distance, it doesn't really matter whether you're in a window or whether you are standing out there in the open. You're still the same target. But if you roll a hit on a leg, your leg is behind the window. So, you have to have something that's able to penetrate the window or it's a miss. So if you got something like a 50 cal, those hits still count. Because I thought it was kind of innovative and it made sense. And I'm a fan of things that make sense. Okay, so that's where we're at with the sanding sealer, and this is what we're going to stop for the evening. So we'll let this dry. The next time we're back on, we should be able to pick up where we left off. And I got toothpicks to use for that too. Yeah, toothpicks or bits of wood that I don't have a use for. The toothpicks are actually really useful. I've got other ones that are different sizes. So, and they're going to be irregular probably. They're not going to be like exactly the same height. No. And I don't know how often it's going to be, but if you have something like this, I would imagine this piece would have at least 4 that are up. Not like 1 or 2 or something like that. It'd be like 4, and that'll allow the wire to connect to different places. So, all right, folks, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.